Florida State University where 2 people were killed, 6 people were injured from a student, and his name, 20 years old, was Phoenix Ickner. Phoenix Ickner. I did cover it when it first broke yesterday. They did cancel school for today, and they did cancel all of the sports activities over the weekend, right? And so everything is looking to resume on Monday. But let me bring you guys up to speed on what happened. Very, very tragic situation and story. Again, 2 people were killed and 6 people injured. This was the latest of what was going on.
First, though, the shooting at Florida State University.
Yeah, 2 people were killed and 6 others injured when police said a 20-year-old student opened fire near the crowded student union. Faith Abube is on campus at Florida State University with the latest. Good morning, Faith.
Good morning to you, Michael. It all happened right around here at the Student Union building this morning. The campus community waking up with a heavy sense of grief and disbelief. When the shots rang out yesterday, many of them took off running in panic, terrified for their lives. They'll be able to come back today to retrieve their personal belongings, many of them leaving behind laptops, bags, cell phones, and other personal belongings. This morning, the desperate search for a motive after authorities say the stepson of a sheriff's deputy killed 2 people and injured 6 others at Florida State University.
This event is tragic.
Chaos in and around the Student Union building as gunshots rang out just before noon Thursday.
I heard about like 12 shots go off like in my vicinity, like probably around like 300 feet from me.
Police analyzing this disturbing video, which appears to show a man squaring off and firing. People heard screaming as they ran for cover. Third-year student Mackenzie Heater telling us she was just feet away from the suspect when he started shooting.
I noticed he was waving around a bigger rifle. That's when he shot the rifle, and I was just confused, like, was that really just a shot? And that's when I noticed him go in his car and pull out the handgun and then shoot that woman. Police racing to the scene. Many students and professors using anything they could use, even this piano, to barricade themselves inside classrooms. Some students using gum as tape to cover the windows.
I hear bop, bop, bop. The teacher was asking if any of us had tape to tape up some paper, and no one had tape, and so some of us, we just like got out gum and started chewing so we could stick some paper to the windows.
Law enforcement going building to building, door to door, clearing the campus.
After like 20 minutes, they told us to put our hands up, and we come out.
Put your hands up, walk out this door. Students walking out with their hands on their heads. More than 3 hours after the first gunshots, the school announcing law enforcement neutralized the threat. Authorities say they shot him after he ignored repeated commands to drop his weapon. The accused shooter seen here in an ambulance being shackled to a stretcher.
A lot of times, when you see these situations, I've reviewed enough of them on this Millionaire Morning Show, whether it's been at churches, whether it's been at schools, whether it's been at major universities. A lot of times you see these people trying to have a death by suicide. They are not trying to necessarily take themselves out for whatever reason, which we're still looking for a motive. They do these mass shootings, which is weird to me because they never call it a mass shooting whenever they do a drive-by inside of a neighborhood or whenever they start shooting up the black communities. It's not a mass shooting. It's just business as usual. But a lot of times these people, they try to have a death by suicide and they want some level of responsibility to go on to law enforcement as to taking their life. And that's one of the reasons why they don't comply. But we'll actually see this person more than likely brought to justice as a result of committing this mass shooting at Florida State University. Let's learn more about him.
Suspect identified as Phoenix Ickner, a 20-year-old FSU student.
Quentin says 2 people is barely a mass shooting. That's not true, Quentin. He shot 8 people. 2 people died. 6 people got injured. So 8 people got shot before he got taken down. And he wanted to do more. So I would consider 8 people a mass shooting. You wouldn't consider 8 people? If you go through and you shoot 8 people straight, that's pretty massive. I would consider that a mass shooting all day long.
Student whose stepmother is a veteran deputy with the local sheriff's department.
Unfortunately, her son had access to one of her weapons, and that was one of the weapons that was found at the scene.
Investigators say the suspect had both a handgun and a shotgun. The shooting sparking new debate about gun violence across the country. Some of the students on campus survived the 2018 shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
And that's how they make it political. Now it becomes something that they use on the political spectrum in order to try to pass stricter gun laws and all of this stuff and try to restrict your rights. The minute that something happens on a campus or something like that, then it becomes a more extreme situation for them to pass more gun laws and talk about it on the campaign trail. And this is how they then restrict your stuff, because they use these large-scale public displays and acts of violence to then pass these laws or try to get the people to support them on the left or the right as far as what gun violence is. Because the people on the right is going to say, well, if people had the right to carry, then you would have had somebody stop this and so many people wouldn't have got injured. And then the people on the left going to say, see, we need more restrictions and all of this, even though neither have anything to do with anything whatsoever.
President Trump reacting from the Oval Office.
Look, I'm a big advocate of the Second Amendment. I have been from the beginning. I protected it. And these things are terrible. But the gun doesn't do the shooting. The people do. It's, a phrase that's used probably too often.
So let's go over to the press conference really quickly, because I want y'all to hear it straight from the horse's mouth about what happened. And this is how it played out.
Hey, good afternoon. We are coming that took place hour. NBC News people are receiving treatment, and local officials still very monitoring.
My name is Jason Trumbauer, and I'm the chief of police at Florida State University. All Florida State University classes and business operations on the main campus in Tallahassee are canceled through Friday, April 18th. Essential employees should check with their supervisors for further reporting instructions. All FSU athletic events in Tallahassee are canceled through Sunday. At approximately 11:50 a.m., Thursday, April 17th, a gunman opened fire on the main campus of Florida State University in Tallahassee, shooting multiple individuals in the vicinity of the Student Union building. FSU police responded immediately, engaged, neutralized, and apprehended the shooter.
And this is another reason why we want to make sure that we support law enforcement, and we want public safety to always be a priority, because when you need them, you need somebody else to appear. You don't want more people to die as a result of that lack of response. You hear me, Chicago? You hear me, these liberal cities, these liberal states? We actually want more police presence, because it's not that they prevent us from doing anything that we want to do, but they prevent certain crimes, and their response time is very important in order to save lives. So if you don't have a strong police presence in public safety, Chicago, Brandon Johnson, then it could have got worse than it already was. But shout out to all of the police officers and the first responders that take care of business.
2 victims of deceased are deceased, and 5 individuals have been transported to a local hospital with gunshot wounds. The shooter has also been transported to a local hospital. The 2 deceased are not students. The shooter is believed to be a current FSU student. I do not have additional information on the shooter's identity at this time. Students who need assistance can go to the Donald L. Tucker Center, where the university is providing counseling, health care, and other support services. Family members are also able to go to the Tucker Center for assistance. Students, faculty, and staff are asked to call their loved ones as soon as possible to update them on their status. The student union and the surrounding area is still considered an active crime scene. Individuals should avoid the area. Students should not return to the student union to retrieve personal property at this time. Students may return to their residence halls, but they should otherwise stay indoors on main campus to allow first responders and university staff to do their jobs and respond to those needing assistance. Students may depart campus for the weekend. All classes have been canceled through Friday.
Dude, frustrated.
Before I turn this over to Chief Revel, I want to thank all the brave men and women of the FSU PD for responding immediately to the scene. I also want to thank the responding agencies who have provided assistance to FSU today big time, including the Tallahassee Police Department, the Leon County Sheriff's Office, the Florida Highway Patrol, Leon County Emergency Medical Services, FDLE, and all other responding agencies today. We really appreciate your support. That's all the information I have at this time. We'll have additional update for you later today. Chief Revel.
Good afternoon. I am Chief Revel with the Tallahassee Police Department. As the shooting occurred today, our officers, as well as every single other officer in this city and county, responded immediately to this scene. Once on scene and once we began working through what was occurring and what we were working in consultation with FSU, Tallahassee Police Department was asked to take lead on this. So we will be the lead for this investigation, and both the officer involved shooting portion of this as well as the homicide portion of this. I will come up after the last speaker and entertain just a few questions, but needless to say, we have multiple crime scenes. This is a very large area we're covering. We have thousands, hundreds of thousands, or hundreds or thousands of witnesses. And again, this is an active, ongoing investigation. So the information that we will be allowed to release right now may be fairly limited. I'll answer what I can at that time. But I will assure you that as soon as we can, any information that becomes available, we will make that available to you. One of the things in the process, and again, understand that this is an ongoing active investigation. So things are happening as we are standing here and as we are speaking. We have identified the shooter, obviously. He's at the hospital.
Thanks for.
A lot of people are saying that it's this left-leaning guy. I think that the best example that I can use for you guys is a person that's saying that the suspect, the shooter, attacked multiculturalism in classrooms. Let me go ahead and play a little bit of that. I think that's towards the end of this video in particular. Let me see if I can find it. There's several different people that are saying that they knew him.
Union where the shooting happened. Can you just tell me kind of when you realized that it was actually a shooting that was happening and then what happened next?
For sure, Omar. So we were, like you said, we were working on a group project in our classroom. And then two students ran in yelling about a shooting. So we immediately did as we were taught to do in high school. We turned off the lights, locked the doors, barricaded under our desks. And, you know, for about the hour that we were barricaded, we could hear gunshots. And then three distinct times I remember someone trying to open our door. The second two times I know to be the police, but the first time everyone thought it was the shooter. Now that we know he was shot outside the student union, we know it wasn't him, but we were in there, you know, hugging those next to us in some level of comfort, whether we knew them or not. You know, I was texting those I love in you know, and similarly to what you would have seen the videos from 9/11. Hey, I love you. I may never see you again. I might be dying.
How do I speak to this while maintaining a level of sensitivity to the situation? White people are so dramatic. White people are so dramatic. They can't wait to do an interview. They can't wait to get some clout off of it. They can't wait to say that they knew the person. Oh my God, I don't know you, but I'm hugging you because this may be the last time that we see each other. Hey, listen, I might die today, so make sure that you plan my funeral correctly. Come on, fam. I don't know. Maybe it's just the PTSD in me that grew up in the hood, that I'm used to hearing sirens, and it was so weird moving out into the suburbs because it was so silent that I couldn't even go to sleep and sleep the whole way night through for a whole week. And then I didn't realize what it was. It was all of the crickets that I was hearing. I didn't realize what it was. Yes, K. Cooper. Yes. Oh my God, I might die today. Come on, family. Come on, dog. Because I'm used to hearing gunshots. You know, I'm used to hearing it in the hood. Now I'm so far removed from it that it's not a thing. But it's just like, come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on, family. Sleeping to crickets is the best. Sleeping to that silence is the best. It's the best ever. It's the best ever. You say, yeah, I think we got PTSD to an extent. We're used to it. Yeah. Look, man. If you try to hug me, I don't even care if this might be our last moments. The last thing I'm thinking about is a hug. Honestly, if the last thing that I'm thinking about is for hugging, I'm trying to get behind the person that is behind the person that is in front of the person that's in front of me. Hiding just like this. Trying to use you as a human shield. No, you the tough one. You gonna stop him? You gonna stop him? Okay, who's the first line of defense, second line of defense? He can't shoot us all. He can't shoot us all. You gonna go first? You gonna go second? Is the door locked over there? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and is the window unlocked? I need to know what's going on. I'm trying to get does the window come all the way down like this? You know how I fold like this, or does it lift up like that? Because if it lift up like that, I see y'all next in 2 weeks. I'm going home. I'm trying to see how far is my car away from campus. All right, because if I could run, I have to sit here. It might be the last. I'm not texting nobody. Only thing you're going to hear me say, usually, yo, with a whole bunch of O's. Crazy in here. Trying to figure out if the window's open. How do we get out? Yo, how far? You parked over there? Fam, let's get to your car and you can drop me off at my car because I ain't trying to be stuck here all day. It's going to be crazy once the police get here. I'm out. I'm not sitting there talking. I don't want to kick it. I don't want to hug you. I don't want to bond with you. I don't want to be a witness. I'm not going on the news. I don't want to talk about it. I'm gone. I'm out. I'm gone. It's just so dramatic. For me, it just sound weird. I don't know.
And, so as we just heard from the other student too, meanwhile, parents are probably seeing this on the news. They're seeing stuff come out. They're trying to reach folks like you. It sounds like you're texting them as well. Now, I can't imagine, and obviously thankful you're okay. I want to ask you about something else, because as I understand, you were in an extracurricular group with the suspected gunman a few years ago, and that he may have been kicked out of that group. Can you just give us some insight? Why exactly was he maybe kicked out here?
For sure. So, little background. This was a political talk group, current events of the day. And he had continually made enough people uncomfortable where, certain people had stopped coming. And that's kind of when we reached the breaking point with Phoenix, and we had asked him to leave.
And what exactly, if you can remember, what exactly was he saying that made people uncomfortable, as you say?
It's been a couple years now. I can't give exact quotes, but
Where your stash at, dog? I've been trying to avoid saying. I knew it was something that looked weird on this whole screen, bro. It looked just like got no stash, no mustache, no beard. Where your stash at, dog? He trying to get a promotion, huh?
Whether it was in that club or in class, he talked about the ravages of multiculturalism and communism and how it's ruining America.
And I should mention, we have not been able to independently confirm the claims about the beliefs he espoused, but that's why we're talking to some folks like you who may have known him longer than we have, certainly. Another student who was in the group, I should mention too, said the suspect wasn't radical but tended to make more conservative positions and views, adding, quote, he was pretty normal, he was pretty nice. How do you respond to that? Could that fit into sort of your experience with him as well?
So it honestly sounds like the student is describing me normal and conservative, but I wholeheartedly disagree. He wasn't. He went beyond conservatism. So I disagree.
All right. And obviously, law enforcement's still looking into very specific.
And again, I always say that too. I don't like extremists. I've been saying this for like 4 days straight because ever since Josh Shapiro's house got firebombed and they threw them Molotov cocktails inside of his house, I said, man, I don't like extremists on the left. I don't like extremists on the right. It seems like we just headed towards. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. So condolences to the family. I hope that everybody is okay. And it's unfortunate that you got these cowards out here that want to go and grab their mother's handguns and rifles, because I'm hearing that his mother was a former or a Florida deputy or something like that. So as more information comes out, I will keep you guys informed on what's going on and keep y'all in the loop.